Mrs. Holness, in her capacity as the Prime Minister's wife, are quite specific. Primetime News is in possession of the requirements. None of this is being paid for by Jamaican taxpayers, but by the charity.
Max, come on.
A charity event in the U.S. city of Atlanta is to be held in August, and the Prime Minister's wife, Juliet Holness, is to attend. The appearance requirements obtained by TVJ News shows Mrs. Holness will be given similar courtesies to that which would have been afforded the Prime Minister, and the requirements are specific. The travel and accommodation arrangements call for Juliet Holness and her party of 4 to be provided specifically with 2 sports utility type vehicles with tinted windows. The vehicles are to be available on standby for 24 hours with the drivers who speak English and are always sober. As for the hotel, Mrs. Holness is required to stay at a 4- or 5-star facility, and a room list will be provided to the hosts 7 days prior to travel. All hotels will have to be approved by Mrs. Holness' team at least 2 weeks prior to travel. On the technical side, Mrs. Holness is required to have a padded chair as seating, with that chair to be made of mahogany or similar sturdy wood and 22 inches high. Plastic chairs are not acceptable. For her to speak, the requirement is that the lectern be adjusted to accommodate her height, which is said to be 5 feet 11 inches, and if she is to be fitted with any electronic microphones, notification must be given 2 days in advance. Mrs. Holness' team has required that she be furnished with a minimum of 3 cell phones and or SIM cards with unlimited calling capability and data services, and the ability to receive international calls at no cost to her while she is in Atlanta. At least one of the phones is required to be able to make unlimited outgoing international calls while she's there. All phones and or SIMs will be returned prior to her leaving. No specific requirement was made in terms of the number of security personnel she would need, but that team is required to be adequate and shall at all times defer to and communicate with her own close protection officer. At the event, Mrs. Holness is required to have a green room to herself and only guests of whom she approves. The furnishing requirements in that green room are specific as follows: 2 sofas or love seats, 2 padded armchairs, coffee table, end tables and table lamps, all if necessary, are to be provided, with 2 6-feet folding banquet tables with tablecloth. It is also required to have a full-length mirror, 2 medium-sized trash cans with plastic liners, seating for 15 and freshly cleaned silverware and glassware, as well as cloth napkins, no paper or plastics. The refreshments are specific. She is required to have coffee, creamer, Swiss Miss, and ginger tea for her and the guests. 12 bottles of spring water at room temperature are required, as is an assortment of natural unsweetened juices, preferably with tropical flavors except for fruit punch. A packet of almonds, a packet of cashew nuts, and 1 other type of nut. 6 energy bars, more specifically Nature Valley granola bars, and sliced fruits are also required. The specification is for pineapple, oranges, grapes, and bananas. No pork or pork byproducts are allowed in the green room at all. Dashin Hendricks, TVJ News.